Hello and welcome back to the FACEIt LAN Finals live from London. We're back with semi-final number 2, NiP versus Virtus.Pro. This should be an epic matchup, right?
I mean, in many tournaments, even in this era, this could be a final. This could be the teams that were battling for the cup, and whoever wins this series is the champion of the tournament. But obviously, this is just going to decide who's the finalist and who finishes out in the semi-finals here.
And you guys looking forward to this? Welcome to the desk. Sorry, actually first, because this is your first time on the desk this morning. How are you, Dan?
I'm good. I'm excited. This is the classic matchup, NiP and Virtus.Pro. It's always good. Every single time. I'm always excited to see these guys play. Virtus.Pro on the up lately. NiP, very shaky yesterday, so I'm quite curious on how this one's going to go. I'm curious to see also what the vetoes are like.
Talking of yesterday, I do believe we have some graphics to show you guys at home. These teams rode to the final day. So if we look at Group A first, which is where NiP came through as the second in their group, having lost to Fnatic, and Fnatic beat them quite convincingly, right?
Yeah, it was definitely convincing. I would say of all the teams that are, obviously TSM's already in the final, but that made it through into the semi bracket, I would say VP had the best tournament in the group stages. So they look really good right now. If they can continue on in that form, this will be a very hard game for the Swedes.
Thorin, what's your opinion on the way NiP got through to this?
A bit more shaky than we're used to, I think, because you would think looking at that, okay, the immunity one, that should be very easy, but obviously they had a really close Dust 2 game there, even though they got through 2-0. Fnatic absolutely blitzed them. It wasn't even particularly close. And then in the lower bracket, they got their chance for revenge against Immunity, and this time it was convincing. It was where it essentially should have been all along, and Immunity guys didn't have enough fight to put up and get more maps or have a chance to win maps, so in the end, NiP looks like they're sort of peaking as the group finishes, but I think in a way that what makes it hard to gauge their form is that since Immunity upset Liquid to face them, it's if they'd have played Liquid that I think we would have got a better sense of how good NiP is right now.
Yeah, because we did, exactly. We only saw one real test for them. And also Group B we saw happen throughout the last couple of days, which is where Virtus.Pro came through as the number 1 seed into the semi-finals. Talk us through a little bit of their process.
I mean, first of all, when they played Elevate, the scores aren't written there, but from what I remember, those were actually the games that were reasonably close, actually. Those were, Elevate had their chances to win there amazingly against a top team like Virtus.Pro, but VP came through overall 2-0. I think in the group stage scenario, I always say you shouldn't judge too much of the 4-1 group stage play, because group stage is just about survival. It's just about being in the top 2 to get out. And then, well, I can't see it on the screen now, but I know that they then played against TSM. Chase Production guys.
2-1.
In the spot there. They beat them 2-1 in that close
Which actually
series.
looked like it was going to go to TSM until the late comeback on Overpass.
Yeah,
but that was really like the classic storyline for both teams, though, because TSM got so close and then choked away. Meanwhile, VP, once they get that comeback going, they just it seems almost inevitable when you're watching it. You're like, oh, they're unstoppable. Somehow they're just going to get there. Whereas usually when you're the team doing the comeback, you're supposed to be blowing the pressure on you. Like, oh, we have to keep this up, and if we blow one round, it's over. VP just look like it's a certainty once they're in that situation. So to get into the semi-finals in that fashion, overall quite impressive, especially now when you've seen what TSM's done against Fnatic. So VP, a potential winner of this tournament.
Yeah. Having that impressive run, Dan, do you feel that this they can be confident going into today's game?
Absolutely, and especially as NiP are still to find their form. I know we were always talking about them, bringing their ability to peak and so on and so forth, but generally speaking, the other kind of top teams that you expect to make deep runs look way more comfortable at the moment. And Virtus.Pro, I think, I actually feel like they're going to have a stronger. I actually think Virtus.Pro are actually going to take this one, which is usually I always get burned whenever I get bet against NiP, but I feel like Virtus.Pro are looking better and better, and NiP struggling a little bit at this event so far. And I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they're just missing some shots. I mean, when we saw them against Fnatic in the group stage game, like Thorin said, you can't judge all that much from group stages, but they just lost, not because they're making gameplay errors, but just because they weren't hitting their shots, and they can't afford to make that mistake at this point. So we need to see NiP with that pressure on them, and that pressure basically bringing the execution to the next level, as we usually expect at this stage of the tournament for them.
Right, and we mentioned this a little bit before the break, or Thorin, you mentioned it, that this is like an epic. There has a lot of history to this match. These guys have played each other over and over again, and they've been really epic matches. Talk through the history of these matchups.
Well, I mean, if you to give an illusion even before the CSGO days, obviously some of the core members in these teams were the guys who were going back to 1.6, and actually they met in numerous major finals then. And in general, the Polish guys, Neo and Taz and Pasha towards the end, used to get the better of the Forrest and Get Right, actually, even though Forrest and Get Right historically, some of the greatest players ever, some of the most accomplished players ever. And so we come over into CSGO, and to a degree, that's actually happened again because they then met in EMS 1 Katowice final in March of 2014 in the grand final of the second major. And again, NiP hadn't won a major yet. Everyone was waiting. When's the greatest team ever going to win their major? And VP came in there and they had maybe the most dominant tournament run ever in CSGO, actually. They only lost one map and they were unreal, and they absolutely wrecked NiP in the final. And at that point in time, you have to realize contextually, at that point, NiP had been beaten when other people were playing amazingly, but NiP had never been destroyed, though. They'd never just been crushed, 2-0'd, no chance whatsoever, but VP did it to them. So going beyond that, NiP did like kind of pull back, claw their way back in the rivalry. They won the next couple of matches they played against each other. And then we had a crucial meeting in the next, well, not the next one, but the next meeting, the big one, came in the major at the end of the year. November 2014, DreamHack Winter semi-final. This time it was NiP, who was actually the team who'd had to retool. They'd brought in Makalele, they'd changed out Fiflaren. And they had this run, this miracle run, where they went through, they got to the semis, and VP narrowly lost there, and NiP almost won the final. So it's always, whoever wins this one always has a shot at winning the title.
Let's very quickly, we're going to go into the match very soon, but let's quickly go over the veto. So NiP cancelled out Cobble, and then VP cancelled out Dust 2. NiP chose Inferno, which is the first map we're going to be going into very soon, and then VP chose Overpass. Surprises there?
The big surprise there is that NiP's had to ban out Cobble because they know VP's very strong in it, and they themselves played against Fnatic and got crushed. So normally their ban is always Overpass. So what they've done there is that's allowed VP to gamble, and VP's saying, right, we're going to take Overpass, which you don't ever play. So this could potentially be dangerous for NiP.
And then, if we need it, the last map will be Cash, as Mirage and Nuke get taken.
I think Cash is very even between these two teams. Although these maps, I think Inferno and Cash both can win. The danger one for NiP, I think, is Overpass, actually. I think that should go to VP.
Okay, well, let's... First of all, head into Inferno. Map number 1, second semi-final. Let's see who's going to make it to the final. Guys, take it away.
All right, thank you. So, well, there's actually one point which I want to talk about here. And with this kind of classic battle, we've actually seen NiP get classified as a team that isn't super adaptable. Like they're not showing that they want to like really exploit some of the more broken elements in the game and stuff like that. But Virtus.Pro, they are consistently reinventing themselves. And with the maps going as they are, I actually feel like this looks really good for Virtus.Pro.
The only thing to keep in mind is that the one map VP didn't look like they were in this tournament at all was Inferno against TSM. That was a weird series because the first game they completely slaughtered TSM on Mirage. Second map we thought, okay, there's no way the Virtus.Pro is going to slow down, and they came out dead flat as well. It was Inferno, like we mentioned. And then the Overpass game, which looked really good for them, which is scary, because if their Inferno game can get going, this could be over in as quick as 2 maps.
Oh yeah, like that Overpass from Virtus.Pro like suits their playstyle so well. They have so many cool strats there that I haven't seen from a lot of top teams. They have like anti-ecos, where eco rounds where they like rush as 5 players in certain parts of the map. They got some crazy stuff, and they push so much, and it works really well for them.
And they're very good now at understanding and realizing that the A site is a lot more viable. A lot of teams are still bashing their head against the wall at B. The interesting thing, though, yesterday was that when they were selling, usually it was Bialy that was selling out the fake, he would actually be able to get the picks off at B, which means the rotations couldn't come in because they couldn't read that fake early enough. So TSM had no idea when to rotate, when to get there, and they were weakened at either site as a result. If they can find those similar picks today against an IP, I think it's going to be a similar story on an Overpass. But again, we got Inferno first, and we got to get there. Hopefully NiP can make it a series, because this map's going to be all important, I really do think, to make this go to 3.
Oh yeah, you're completely right there. And the best thing actually is that if we do get to that third map, Cash, as Dorian said, I completely agree with him. It's actually a really even one for both of these teams. Virtus.Pro have got, again, a really fun style to watch, but they're so good at just essentially making the gameplay for... Like, I would say that NiP CT side is going to be the most important thing, because Virtus.Pro have got some really insane T rounds, and they can capitalize on their pace so effectively. They're one of the best teams in the world at doing that, and it's super fun to watch. So I really hope we get to that, Cash, actually. So yeah, and I need to see Alu hitting his shots today. Like, yeah, we saw him against Fnatic. He was missing a lot of key shots, and against a team like Fnatic, you just don't get to miss those shots and win the game. So, so it's going to be interesting to see if he's on point today. It's a new day. So perhaps they got off on the...
And keep in mind, we haven't really made mention of it today, but post-Fiflaren era with Makalele, this map was really good for NiP. hasn't been quite the same with Alu. Yes, the numbers have been there, but they don't have that same early aggression. Alu's more of a late pick player. That said, if his confidence gets going, he will get aggressive because he'll push as far down as alt mid with the op if he has to on the CT side. Just a matter of making sure he has the confidence level to do that. So they have to get a solid start. It's a really nice point, actually, because we have seen struggles for them. They wanted to try to find a way to innovate a little bit with Alu, but, well, we are into the pistol round, it would seem. Virtus.Pro and NiP here for the semi-finals of the FACEIt Stage 1 LAN finals here, live from London, England, and we're seeing Pasha already getting a little bit frisky, moving up down to Banana, and they're getting the frags already. Good play from Snacks. That saves Pasha on the first entry. He manages to pick up one himself, but there's the answer. They both go down. So rotation has to come over from NiP. The first one in position to do so is Neo. Sorry, from VP is Neo. He goes out. Smoke's a little bit late, but this will let them cross into the site. So Neo's going to be able to take over construction. But that smoke is going to delay them a little bit. So it's going to be hard for Virtus.Pro to team play around this. And you can see at NiP, you've got 2 players on cores here for that double peak situation. This is going to be hard here. There is the peak from Neo and Bialy. They're both going for the double peaks. Who's going to come out on top here? It's looking good for NiP. 2-on-2 right now. Make it a 1-on-2 as Bialy's left over. He's got a kit as well. But can he find these frags? They are going to play this by the book. And Bialy's going to have a hell of a job to do. Quick frag on Existo. Maybe there's just a chance. Is he going to go for the hold here? Get Right going to swing on by. And he's going to make it happen with the Tech 9. Man, he wanted to hold that, but he heard Get Right coming late, so he had to get off it. He could have actually faked and forced the issue. With that smoke that came out front side, you would have expected him to be ahead of construction. I thought Bialy might take the fight. A little bit awkward on Spools there, too, because they set up for that double peak, but then Get Right slid out in front of Freiburg, and a little bit of team damage fired in that way. So that said, we're going to get the 5 SMG. They've done this play on Dust 2, but on Dust 2, again, the range didn't work for them when they tried it, so they've been running a rifle. This time, a little bit closer on Inferno. They can just rush in with these, try and cancel out the pistols that are out. 1 CZ, 75 for Pasha, 5 7s as well for Snacks and Bialy. And look at the boost from Neo. Lots of fire, actually, on in the hands of NiP. They're going to run a set play and just light up the bomb site. All those little crevices and corners those pistolers want to hide in are going to be completely exposed. Yeah, the skybox bounce. There's the first one already, so that comes into orange. Second orange. No one there, though. Neo's up above it, like we say, so Snacks has a good crossfire. That flash comes in late, but unfortunately Neo's caught by it, too, so he couldn't get the first shot. It looks so simple from our perspective. Unfortunately, his screen was completely white. Alu gets back into him right away, so it's 2 men down and only 1 for NiP lost. Yeah, this is actually a gorgeous strategy here from NiP. It's not something you see super commonly in this kind of situation, but I love it. Virtus.Pro now going for the exits, seeing if they can also, at the same time, as kind of a side objective, keep that pistol armor alive into the next round, which is going to be a save for them after losing this one. But here we go, Bialy going to try to get some damage done, doesn't pick up anything. So they're actually taking some aggressive peeks here instead of trying to just hold a little bit further back. And they do know that Banana is safe, so we can probably see them all making their way down there as Taz goes for some little peeks there as well. But can't really find all that much. Pasha, can he get anything? No, he won't. So looks pretty good here for NiP. And again, actually, I'm surprised more teams don't do this, because this is kind of like that question that you always have. Okay, we know that they will be on pistol armor, so either we go A, do we go B? Some teams send like one guy in to look for the stack. Recon. And they're just like, hey, screw it. Let's just get the Molotov straight in there and go for it. And there's a lot of teams. Well, that was the thing. They did buy SMGs to take the fight close. So even if it was a stack, they have the same movement ability as those pistols, plus the Molotovs, which would push them out of those positions. So, I mean, NiP knew what their plan was. They stuck to it. But there's a lot of teams that don't run that recon and do run into stacks all the time. Freiburg, as the man that went down, does go for the AK. By the way, last round we did see Pasha go down to the bomb explosion because he got dinked up just before he left the site. So the CZ was dropped. That's an investment that goes against Virtus.Pro, as Exist will already find Neo in this round. And they are slowing it down this time. Yeah, it's a really simple affair here, just slowly clearing things out. They don't need to invest so heavily as to throw all the Molotovs in this round, and they've got Exist into pool already, just clearing out all these positions. And the SMG just helps so much in rounds like this, where you can just move and shoot, scoot and shoot all the time with those SMGs, and it really helps against those pistols. You can clear out angles and little hidey spots really quickly with them, so you can see NiP using those to great effect, and would definitely expect them. Oh, Get Right! Push down from Bialy, gets caught off. So he does go down, and actually VP's going to pick up another. So despite this bomb going down, they're still stacked up and together to get these exit kills and at least do damage to NiP, but of course they're going to upgrade next round anyway, or should, as it will be the first gun round. So it's not a huge loss as long as Freiburg stays alive with that AK.
Yeah, it's actually a situation where I almost wonder if they shouldn't even try to challenge, because they didn't do any damage to NiP previously, and NiP are basically just making money here. It's not if Virtus.Pro just survive there, of course they're on the CT side, so they'll make they'll get the loss bonus anyway. So in trying to challenge there for some frags, as you say, they're going to upgrade anyway.
Where are they? Exist and Alu don't look like they want to, so they don't fully upgrade. The rest of them do, but I entirely get your point, because now they've just given $600 to each kill that was given up at the end of the round.
It's definitely something to think about. It's probably one of those marginal calls, but either way, into the full buy here for Virtus.Pro, and straight away they've got an AWP on Pasha. So 2-man setup on Arch side as well. So Virtus.Pro with a non-standard setup to kick things off in their first buy round.
Only into bedroom just to make sure no one's lurking up close for VP. As Forrest awaits the call, bombs all the way back down, toward the T-spawn, not even up the stairs yet, as Alu and Freiburg want around the corner. Not a lot of aggression, though, from VP and Banana. Quite a passive setup, indeed. No smokes or anything, so NiP have at least that to work with. They can get up close, but Snax is waiting with that crossfire position, as we see Neo's also on CT. And they're just waiting for NiP to get closer and closer. It's almost like suckering them in. Hey, Banana's open. Come, I dare you to come near us. Unfortunately, though, no one's rotated over yet from VP, but it doesn't matter. Neo's already got Freiburg. There's your first man down, and now NiP have to scramble and reconsider.
They're running out of time, though. 40 seconds left to play with, but looks like they are going to go for this. But already the rotation's coming in. Floating a player through CT spawn here from Virtus.Pro, ready to receive this rush. And it looks like a great setup here from Virtus.Pro. 3 guys on this, 1 through construction. Neo with a second kill to his name, as Snax is still alive at the new boxes at the back of the bomb site. And in comes one teammate over the top. It's Taz, bringing the death there towards NiP. It's just Alu left with the SMG, picks up the frag and the M4. And the bomb is planted
deep, though. Doesn't want to cross. Oh, that nade's going to do damage just a little bit. He managed just to evade it by jumping into the corner. But he had to plant it, had to be conservative with it, just get it down, but it doesn't give him much of a position to play post-plant. He's actually over toward quad. I think they'll spot him up. Flash goes over. Pasha hasn't found him yet, but now Alu's peeking. Now they will, and Pasha doesn't hit the first shot, but he's got to go back out on the backside as well. Still a good advantage here for VP, but they're not getting the time in to their favor. They will get the kill finally, and Bialy gets on the bomb.
Yeah, some really nice rounds there from Virtus.Pro, surviving with 2 players. Decent damage done by NiP as well, and getting the bomb down. They're going to be able to keep that pressure on the economy of Virtus.Pro to try to get that money control back. And of course, it's so critical as a CTs to get these early wins straight back after you lose the pistol and get that economy established. We know how Virtus.Pro, I mean, they got a reputation, and they deserve it, to be basically the best team handling the fire, the incendiaries and the molotovs. They really know how to use them, but you need a good economy to throw those in the mix. So that's what they're currently working on, and full buy for NiP, and they are pushing second mid and taking quite a bit of early map control, and the pace is pretty fast here.
It is very fast. Forrest already looking around the corner. No smokes out, but gets caught on the backside. No one in position to support him, and Pasha picks up 2. That's the bomb, crucially, as well as Exist does go down, so Get Right lurking in. Apartments has to nail this shot on Bialy. He does through the smoke. Impressive play from him. Bialy was just waiting to take the vision away, and with Alu taking down Pasha, it does buy Get Right a little bit more time, but he's already cancelled out as Neo comes down from Banana, and with Get Right focused firmly on that fight. A great position. Yeah, we see Taz was already getting ready in behind, but Neo gets the kill in the end, and they're back to within 1.
I think this must be Virtus.Pro with a bit of a read or some research into NiP, because it's not so common to stack 2 players towards Arch side. That's again a non-standard setup, and because he Pasha actually he hit the shots. He hit both shots there. That's amazing. You don't expect for that to actually happen. You can say, okay, maybe 1 and he's done his job. He can fall back or whatever, and maybe Taz can play with him and they can bait each other and stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting, and it worked out super well in that round. So I'm curious to see if they are going to continue to play with this kind of a style. But NiP now, they are on a force buy, just a bit of armor, some Tech 9s, 1 AK, and 1 smoke on Exist. What the hell are they going to do in this round?
Yeah, this is quite interesting.
VP have already 4 players towards A as well, so they've got Neo who's able to spot on Banana, so it feels like Virtus.Pro can see everything. They know everything right now.
And there goes your AK. So the only gun up with head armor on Exist and one of the smokes. Okay, they recover all of that. So good thing the smoke gets recovered for Get Right. This still gives them 1 as Alu just used the other. And they still want to try and execute on A, but they're not getting anywhere. Snack's just going to fire through that smoke. Does no damage, but firmly lets NiP know he's there. As a result, 2 players do start to fall back, but Neo's pushed up toward car. Now, that's not aggressive enough based on this rotation. So if he gets caught early, they will be able to get into the B site before the rotation comes in from VP, and that's exactly what happens. They need to push. They need to go exactly right now. And Freiburg calling. Okay, he spotted 2. He knows there's 2 on the way out. This is a good plant position right now for NiP.
That fast kill to Neo, that was exactly what they needed. It couldn't have been any better now for NiP to save this round. Smokes down, post-plant positions, they're a man down, but they have construction. Here's Alu, close with the Tech 9, and he's spamming that way, but he can't get the frag very quickly, but there it is, get right with the support. Alu finally finishes off Snacks, and in comes Taz. The 2 more players make that 1 more now, as Bialy is the last man standing for Virtus.Pro. What a round here from NiP, what a save, and that's exactly what Bialy's considering right now. He's up against 3, and there's no time to do this. Bialy, he's going to get nothing, and Virtus.Pro
and I know it seems odd to say Neo should push down Banana all by himself, but in that case, if he's that far down Banana, as soon as they come back, even if it's a quick kill, that kill comes out about, what, 5 seconds, 6 seconds sooner, if not more, and then they've got more time to get back through arches and over toward B. By him playing passively and solo, it gave up B just completely before they could do anything about it.
I mean, usually you'd expect Neo to be able to say, okay, spot the players, okay, I'm going back now, I drop the smoke at my feet, and then my job is done, my team knows where they are.
Yeah,
but
he just got
instantly killed, he got insta-gipped there, just immediately shot in the head, and again, if that shot, if they didn't get the shot like so quickly, then they probably lose that round as well. So NiP managing to bring themselves back with the smallest of margins.
And we see from VP, they don't have any money to play with. Smoke gonna go off, that'll land arch side. Around the corner they go. Freiburg does find Pasha on the way by. Taz needs to be careful, dodges the flash into the corner, but Get Right's not gonna firmly peek. He knows he's close though, has to based on that smoke, and he peeks out. Aptly so. This gives him a gun to work with on the back side of apartments. But the bomb's already ticking away on the A side, or at least being planted. Why is it not there? It is finally down. Snacks, though, in through the library. Exist had a player on either side. He was completely overwhelmed as Force gets back. But Snacks picks up an AK. Slight chance here they might do this with Freiburg on low HP, but they just want to look for exits. They'll get more. They'll get one on Neo. So now this is really wide open. Snacks comes around the front side with the AK. Both sides being pushed right now, but look at Forrest's position. He's just going to lurk out the doorway. He doesn't have to peek this at all, and Freiburg's buying a lot of time for his teammate to do that. Snacks does get him down. There it is, one-on-one, and he just has to bait out the bomb, and Snacks knows it. He's gone.
Good effort, though, from Virtus.Pro. I mean, they actually invested fully into that round, and I mean, they had almost nothing to work with. They had their pistols, they had like an MP9 or 2, so pretty crazy to get so much damage done and to really keep NiP honest with the money, but they are... I don't think NiP are going to be worried here. They know that Virtus.Pro have got like nothing to work with. They should have a free round here to build up that economy, to really just heal all the damage that Virtus.Pro just caused, and again, just keep Virtus.Pro off of those really good situations where they can get all the incendiaries, and all the incendiaries allows Virtus.Pro to play the more aggressive style, a style that they're really good at playing, and that's where they want to be, but they can't do it because they need the money. So NiP, they set the match up very well for themselves right now to keep themselves in advantage.
There's the crossfire set up again at B, but it's already cancelled out. No smokes out early. They just want to get one fall, then smoke. Doesn't happen, and Forrest's going to get more on the way through. Fire takes down Neo on the backside of quad. So Pasha, first one over. Get Right's already found Bialy, backside of Banana. They won't get any flank position either, and it's all left to Taz.
They can't expect all that much here from Taz, unfortunately, and indeed it will be a clean one for NiP. Nobody dying, that's a lot of cash for them. Now 6-2 is the score, and what do we have for Virtus.Pro? So not a lot of money for them either. Again, not really going to be able to afford full nades. Especially now, the M41S is increased in price up to $3,200. That's the difference of a nade, considering it used to be $2,900 way back when. So just M4s, lack of grenades. You'd expect potentially an aggressive setup. They don't even have full smokes at the moment. One man without a smoke.
Interestingly, though, they do buy 2 decoys because they can afford. Yeah, good push. Get Right catches Bialy, though, but the decoys can be acted like flashes. They'll try and bait those out to get people to turn off, so watch for quick peeks if they want to use those as planned. Pasha's already down Banana, so they're not done with this aggression yet. Get Right comes through, actually finds Pasha because he was trying to contend with the fire and got a little bit tripped up. But still they're behind in NiP right now as Taz comes back up from the boiler stairs. He's caught off by Alu. There's just far too many ninjas over in that position, so Snacks is going to bail out, go hide it out at B.
So, I mean, a round like that from Virtus.Pro is, of course, quite risky, but what they're saying is, hey, we don't have the utility to actually play a longer round, and NiP know that we don't have a lot of money, so NiP will know that if they play a slow round, if they go for that long round, then they'll bait out our grenades and then eventually just say, okay, we're going to push you now, and we don't have any grenades to slow them down, to flash them or anything, and they have all the grenades to to bully us off the bomb sites. So we have to take an advantage early into the round. We've got to try and get some aggression, get some early picks, and that way, by getting in their faces and playing a shorter round, we have a good chance to win it and kind of even out that advantage that they have. So that was the theory there for Virtus.Pro, and you can see it didn't really work out. That's really smart, actually. That's super smart. There's no way they can kill. That's really smart. Good job by Snax there.
Yep. Doesn't have to peek out. Also can't be peeked. Just hide in the smoke. Well guessed with the throw of the Molotov to figure out exactly where he was, but NiP are sitting pretty on money right now and on round 7-2. It looked like this was going to get really close when it was 3-2, and actually VP started to dig deep into the economy of NiP.
Yeah, I mean, this is that map where if the CTs get the pistol round and get the economy going early on, and they can really play proper CT Inferno, then it can be very CT-sided. But again, it can be the converse as well if they don't get that economy.
It comes back to that round where Neo got dropped at Banana as well when NiP got the free bomb set on the eco. That changed everything, and now look at the roll they're on. As Exist already finds Bialy, Taz tries to get closer on Get Right, won't be able to get the angle he looks for. And Neo again will lurk in Banana, this time smoke out, so he won't go much further as Get Right picks up his second of the round. That's Pasha down. They're still playing passive right now. They don't want to give up anything. They want every round to be flawless. Money, they're going to be greedy right now. They want it all.
Yeah, you're completely right. You know, that round with Neo was completely key, so impactful. We're still seeing the results of that, and yeah, Snax, he's got a Kevlar and an M4 to his name. He really needs to save this. He's just chilling by the A bomb site at the moment, and they are just hunting them down. And NiP know exactly what's going on at the moment. It's a pretty simple, straightforward situation for NiP to play from. They know that they're ahead on the cash, and they know that Virtus.Pro, they know what buy they have pretty much every round. So they're basically just playing against that, trying to select the right kind of pace for what Virtus.Pro have, and anticipating how they know Virtus.Pro will play with those kinds of buys. And it's, yeah, so far it's just pretty simple. And you know, they're actually, I think Fifarian brought this point up before, that NiP, you know, sometimes they'll even pick the worse off side on the start of the series just to get warm, basically. Yeah. And they're looking pretty good at the moment.
Yeah, take advantage of VP not being warmed up. Because that way, yeah, it's the hard side, but it's a little bit easier because the CTs aren't on. So if you can get a good start, as they have done, it works firmly in their favor.
Yeah.
So 8 rounds now again. VP not looking great with money. They have to buy fully back up. AK's out, and look, I mean, look, 15 or 14-2, 11-3, 12-6. Everyone's quite wealthy on the Swedish side. We'll see if they can open up more now. Again, guns out this time. They won't be able to control the pace quite so easily, and a little bit more aggression this time from Virtus.Pro, but already canceled off. A nice counter nade. Dude popped the flash for Snax, but he won't go any further than the fire. He's got to be dead careful as well, because look at the boost that's countering him.
Yeah, this is the aggression they wanted to get off here, but as you say, this is really precarious, very tricky to deal with. Freiburg, King of the Banana, is going to retake his realm as he moves slowly up. He's going to see Neo there. Neo's got to be very careful, and he will take down Freiburg and get assist on the spray down. Great stuff there from Neo, and that's Virtus.Pro with a 2-man advantage early into the round, but it's not over on Banana. Alu wants blood. He wants to avenge his fallen comrades, and he is going to flush out the remainder of Virtus.Pro, but they're still on a man advantage. But look how low these players are getting now.
Forrest gets picked up, though, by Taz. And as you say, they are low. Get Right managed to pick up one on Bialy, but down to 12 HP as a response. So it's up to Alu to really open things up. Snax, you know, very low, but still no rotation. They've got full faith in the 2 VP players on the B side. Alu wants to run in. There's your flash out. Unfortunately, that was thrown by Get Right. It catches Alu, so he can't go much deeper on it. He has to wait just a little bit longer, and that buys time right now for Pasha to get on the backside on the rotation. On the corner, Alu goes, spots up the first, needs to be careful of the crossfire behind him, and Neo's going to get him, and there it is. Pasha's already arrived, so Get Right can't find the secondary angle to get the trade. And Virtus.Pro, that all started around, they finally got an early advantage, and Neo actually almost got caught by Alu at the first peek on Car. That was dead, like that was millimeters and split seconds the difference. Instead, it goes back their way, and they take the round.
Absolutely. It's great to see Virtus.Pro are not wavering on the confidence. They know what must be done, and they know that taking that banana confidently with Neo, just opening up those peaks, that has to be done. They've got to take it away from NiP. They cannot give them simple map control. And again, this is the style of Virtus.Pro want to play. They can't concede their own style just because they're like, well, these, you know, we're losing this rounds. If we lose this, we go to eco. No, they've got to play round for round. That's what they're doing, and they are bringing things back slowly. But again, if they lose this one, their money's in such a bad situation. They're going to be on eco, and their bonus will be reset down to $1,400 after the loss. So if that happens, NiP are into double digits. This has to go well for Virtus.Pro, but it's not starting off that way.
Not at all. Forrest forces out Taz, takes him down on the exit. Snacks, though, very aggressive this time, and Banana gets all the way out in mid, and he's just going to take the advantage and use that as an invitation to fall back. As Forrest is on 10 HP, this does not only give them an even situation, but the HP advantage as well. Bomb, as we see, is still dropped down at alt mid. Get Right's going to go back to grab that. Another smoke out from VP. Fire on the opposing side. That locks NiP in the middle of the two. They're going to push through it. Man, Exist. So close to getting that shot off, but Neo beats him to it. Snack still looks for information, and NiP is split up. Now they're going to go for the wrap. With Forrest closing out that kill on Passion. No, actually, he's going to sit back and just catch the last rotator. I thought he was going to push immediately through Arch, and as a result, Bialy's going to get him. This brings it back to a 2 situation, but they've sold it. Get Right. How smart is he? All the way back over, and Bialy's gone.
Okay, we'll get the bomb planted as well, so this is a crazy opportunity here, because they get all the time to set up their positioning as well. Virtus.Pro quite far away, however, Get Right doesn't know exactly where they are, so he's just going to settle for a very committed spot at the corner of the site. Alu's over towards the balcony. He's given away his position, but gets the frag, so that's perfect. 2 on 2 now. Neo and Snacks slowly going for the wrap. Around quad, around library side, but Get Right going to deal with Neo. Time is ticking away here. Snacks needs to move fast. He's going to start getting himself onto that bomb site. Spots Get Right, but that's it. Get Right gets the next kill, and somehow NiP get that round out of nowhere. That rotation, what happened?
I thought Forrest was just going to go through the arch. I thought they were committed at that point, and Forrest was on low HP. Even though he lost the duel to Bialy, I think he expected the same thing, because he was holding for that rotator, so he thinks, okay, that's a lurk, I'm gone.
Exactly, yeah.
And he's out of the sight, NiP are aware of it. That was a brilliant read by them to come back over. And Alu, by the way, I have to say, he's not at the top of the kill total, but he's actually, so Get Right's just dominating right now, but he's on 10, and the kills he's getting are very impactful, and he doesn't have the op out yet. It's just the rifle he's been using.
And well, we're going to see some trace happening here on Banana, and Virtus.Pro, they're going to need a miracle now again to prevent the double digits for NiP now that they have reset the economy of Virtus.Pro. They need double eco. They have to double eco. It's ridiculous. They want any kind of a buy. So that situation cannot happen here for Virtus.Pro, but it has, and this is the start that NiP needed to the series. They needed an Inferno win, and they're poised to keep this momentum going and have every chance to win the second half. But let's see if Virtus.Pro can get some more damage done here and recover a couple rounds to give themselves something to work with in the second half.
Freiburg with 4 will be the first in, just to bait out the shots and find the setup for NiP. There's your first. It's Pasha that gets him. That's with the Deagle, but they haven't got an answer for him yet. Can he get more? He does dink up Alu, and there he goes. Down out he is, in the round will still go the way of NiP, at least in numbers for this point. That did drop the bomb, so it slows their plant a little bit. This gives Bialy a chance to push up in Banana. I don't think there's guns down there, though, because everyone from NiP dropped inside the site, so he's just going to have the P250 when he arrives. The AK, the first one, is just to his right. Does he get it? Yes, he does. Just picks it up and gets spotted in doing so. Forrest, a good shot into him. And look at this. Get Right just holds station. Not even peeking until he comes around the corner.
Yeah, NiP 10-3 now, so yeah, really abusing the money, the way the money's been going this match. And again, there's the 2 key rounds. That round where they read Forrest as kind of a lurk, thinking, okay, must be the B play, and then putting the rotation in and losing that round where they had the advantage, and then that one with Neo where he gets instantly picked off from Banana. Those are the 2 key rounds that have allowed the economy to landslide in favor of NiP. And Pasha's got the AWP out again. It's not something we've seen all too much of. He's got some armor, but there's no nades here for Virtus.Pro.
And Alu's got his out this time as well. So I talked about a lot of impact kills from him, mostly with the AK. We'll see if he can find a pick this time, as Pasha's already fallen off mid, so they won't have the direct duel. And a late op on the T side Inferno becomes less and less powerful, because you're getting closer to the site, so you need entries. Post-plant, you can make an argument for it, but on the way through, other than this peak right here, once they get into A, it's going to be extremely tough, and Pasha's already found Forrest.
Okay, so can Alu even things up a little bit? He can try to get the entries going with the AWP. There's some cool angles he could try to use, but really he's just looking to see if Pasha's going to re-peak there. But after taking that frag, they fall back. They're going to say, okay, we have our advantage. Let's play super defensively, super passively now, and see if NiP are going to make a mistake. See, allow them to move into us, and we will react instead.
Interesting rotation from Pasha. Doesn't want to close from close angle. He scopes and he misses. The fact that Get Right went just past him, he realized too late. With the scope sensitivity as low as it was, couldn't flick that far. Neo does get one with the shotgun. Falls back deep in the sight, but they're already arriving from every possible position, and it's just Taz and Bialy that are left. M4's up. Shots will rain through the smoke, but no connection made. Let's Get Right. Weasels his way inside construction. Flash over top. Bialy was aware of that. They're trying to pinch this as Taz has found an entry, at least position to work with at the top of Banana, but there it is. Get Right waits. Bialy jumps in, and yeah, no surprise. Taz is not looking for a fight now. He's just got to sit back and secure.
Yeah, I'm super curious to see how this is going to go after the pistol round here, because Virtus.Pro, I mean, Taz will be able to save this into the next round, and they will be able to buy some stuff just because of the money, the round loss bonus, but still, it should be another round for NiP, and they haven't really shown any signs of faltering just yet.
They're going to force no matter what. It's round 15, so whatever they can, they will. Taz drops the AK over. No, he doesn't. He just dropped over. I think it was a FAMAS. So they've got one of those out at least, and 2 Mag 7s. Yeah, there you go. Bialy picks up the FAMAS.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty awkward. You never know. Virtus.Pro could pull out a miracle in this round to get it to 4, but still, yeah, NiP, they've been very confident here. They're moving up together on middle just to see what any map control they can take. They know that Virtus.Pro are going to have like a super weird buy, the jumble sale buy. They do have Get Right in apartment, slowly taking map control, just the standard stuff here from NiP so far. And again, with the knowledge that Virtus.Pro are going to try to be sneaky, they're going to be on high alert here, and they're going to already spot Taz. He's got to be super careful. He's the only guy with a decent weapon on his team. He's going to be battling in apartments, looking for that advantage. But he's going to have to back away now.
Yeah, forced out. The apartment is on fire. The room is on fire.
The room is indeed.
This is going to go to the front of the car. This will close off on pit. Second one, that's a cool angle to watch them both cross over. That'll cover off the backside of Graveyard and the shot from Library, so they want to get in and try and get a quick plant. Taz also smoked, but there's a slight gap on this one. I think, yeah, he can definitely see through this. So on the cross, if Taz holds station, he might catch one off, and that's exactly what happens as Bialy, not Taz, does the one to get that kill, is inside of the pit. He's going to find more than that. Get Right, though. There it is. There's your entry. Taz gets aggressive this time, comes all the way around the backside, weasels into the site, gets Freiberg, but that's all he gets. That shotgun and an AK picked up by Snacks on this post-plant situation. They've made it close for themselves, but Neo's got a big job to do.
So we got Neo coming in. 2 players to find. Knows where both of them are. One pit, Get Right, and they can just toy with Neo constantly. Great shot there as Get Right goes for the run, and it's going to be Neo now, just moving really fast onto Ali's position. He's at the corner, just throwing pixels up his head, just completely playing with Neo, but there's the spray. Neo gets the kill, and he's going to have time, I believe.
Well, he doesn't have a kit. I don't think he does. There's no kit. This is going to go the way of NiP.
Oh, his nose.
So this is going to be 12-3 for NiP. Good round, no kit. What a difference it makes.
1 second.
Neo just shakes his head at the end. Nope, sorry guys, not happening. So NiP pick up yet another. That was very good from Virtus.Pro. Actually, that gap in the smoke made a big difference. Taz didn't actually get the kill, but he could call for Bialy. So Bialy then knows when one was immediately wrapping on Boiler and could still fall back when he had to play the backside of the apartments. And you saw him get a double out of that. That's what really switched the round back.
Yeah, it was, again, I mean, sometimes you have situations in Counter-Strike where it's as simple as the shots deciding the match sometimes. And in this situation, I mean, of course, the shots decided the match, but just the economy was played such a massive part. You could see how much Virtus.Pro was struggling. Like, they couldn't get any buys. They could just never get any buys. They're always having to get the double ecos in there.
And you see Get Right ended actually with 16k.
Yeah,
that's how far ahead they were. He ended the half with 16k and 23 kills. Let's not forget. He's that far ahead of everyone else right now. Everyone else is actually quite close. It's a fairly even distribution, but Get Right is definitely having one of those games that he's known for.
I mean, sometimes in this game, you just can't make like one error. Like, it just sets you back so far. And we saw too many of those situations from Virtus.Pro in spots where they were already in the disadvantage, and then it's like the slippery slope. You lose that round, it gets worse for you, and then the pressure mounts and the situation repeats itself. So 12-3, that's a really devastating scoreline. But I got to say, I feel like Virtus.Pro are probably not all that worried, because at least they know that even if they do lose this map, they're going to be going to Overpass where they feel really confident, and especially against NiP, they should feel even more confident. But that said, NiP are off to a good start today. They're looking warm. They're hitting their shots, and we might very well see the NiP magic.
Well, remember, we do go to overpass next. NiP don't play that often. VP were definitely quite strong on it yesterday. There's no question about that. As Bialy, here it is, pistol round underway, tries to get aggressive. Quick little check off on the Arch side, but nobody home, so he falls back, and they'll just slow the pace just a little bit for VP's side.
So Freiberg's got a lot of info for his team here. It's just all the way down the bottom banana, but in the meantime, Virtus.Pro pushing up towards middle, pushing up apartments, just showing themselves, just taking some control. But no one's even taken any damage yet. Considering how far both teams have pushed, it's very interesting to see that. And Freiberg's slowly backing away now. And he's seen nothing still. There it is, first player spotted, but that still doesn't tell them all that much. No. It's Freiberg, oh, he's going to spot them, he's going to hear them, and he's going to make the call. But can they hold this? There's a nice nade. Oh, well, actually not so nice.
A little bit to Neo, that's it. And here they come. Alup going to cross it from the backside, but he doesn't have his support yet in position because Freiberg's rotating around. He's slow to get there, and they've already got the inside of the site, so he realizes that when he arrives, Pasha's staring him down. So bomb gets in place for Virtus.Pro. Now they've got a chance to hold this round off. Just need to secure the positions, and everyone from NiP is coming from the same direction, all from CT spawn, and they're actually pushing and forcing the issue. Snack's going to get on top of Forrest early, but Forrest in a pistol is more than a worthy adversary. Manages to get the kill on him. Get Right finds another. Pardon me, it's actually Exist that collected it with the final bullet, but Get Right put them in position to do so, and it's an even situation. They spot out the player in Emo, and they actually might do this, as Neo is all that's left. Does get the first, needs to bait this out. No kit there, perfect play from him. Realizes he has a chance. Get Right is the one with the kit. He gets on it, but time is quickly evaporating, and Neo with the 3K to clean it up. 4 in the round. And he'll go down, but it doesn't matter. They've got the 4th.
Now, I wonder if NiP will just go for a very, very light buy. I mean, again, Inferno, the economy is so important that you don't necessarily... I mean, it can be quite strong to have the pistol armor, of course, on maps like this because of so many choke points and places you can hide. Actually, just 5 smokes and pistols. So they did invest, but not fully. So it's quite interesting to see, and I like that from NiP because, again, you want all the money for all the nades. You need strong buy rounds. You can't... We saw teams make this mistake earlier in the tournament, whereby they just put themselves into a situation where on their buy round of CT after the double eco, they've got like $4,000 or something, so they can get a rifle and armor, but they've got no nades to play with, so you're already setting yourself back. So gotta respect how you have to play this map, and NiP are doing just that.
Exist knows he's got... Well, now he definitely knows he's got company as the bullets slap the wall beside him. But look at Forrest, he's just being patient. Now he falls because his teammate's done the same on the Arch side, so in tandem, they'll play passively and try and hold this off. Exist does spot one. A little bit of damage dealt to Pasha. Falls further. He just wants to be able to hold these angles when they go by. But look at the SMGs. They haven't hit yet, but they will rain in on top of him. They all push his position, and Exist goes down. The question is, how does NiP respond? They're actually going to go through CT spawn, so there is 3 on the B site, and this is an excellent crossfire already set up. Freiberg reads it perfectly, falls back. Get Right does go down, and Neo collects onto the second player. That leaves just Alu in the backside of the site as Forrest will come back up from Banana.
Not looking very good for NiP. They've got very limited damage done. Only 1 player down so far. Forrest going to see what he can get done. Oh, there we go. Might just pick one off. No, Bialy going to steal that one away and keep himself alive. And get the extra bonus money of $600 for the kill onto Forrest to boot as well. So that's quite nice for him. 12-5 is the scoreline as Virtus.Pro are starting to climb back into things. But it's just 1 more round until NiP have their full buy. And we can see they've got a lot of cash here to move into the next round with. When they get that money bonus, they're going to have a good buy, a really solid buy. So we'll have to see how things go then. And this round is going to be about Virtus.Pro allowing themselves to try to get a lot of cash going so they can get on the Molotovs. Because when they get 4 Molotovs, Virtus.Pro, they have so many cool things to show us. And this little stack on B now, is this going to work out?
Well, this is exactly one of those rounds we talked about early on where oftentimes we saw NiP running the Molotov strat against it the first time. But this is one of those rounds where you really need to send someone out. You just need to... Someone has to be that, I guess, guinea pig right now to find out where they are, and that's exactly what Pasha's doing. So if he realizes quick enough, they'll fall back, and in fact, the bomb is over toward A. So this is a good chance right now that they'll read exactly what NiP are up to.
5 players on B, and they have spotted one. Neo's going to get the kill on another one. They're actually bringing the bomb back this way, so they haven't really considered that it could be a stack, but surely they must know at this point that it's a stack.
They still haven't peeked. They still haven't found it.
A's for free still. Virtus.Pro, they just want to run straight into the stack. They want the cash, they want the frags. They're going to get it, but they did lose 2 players. They probably could have
they recovered the
lost
AK,
a lot less, but hey, they won the rounds. That's the important thing at this point, considering how far back they are. And now it's time to get to see how interesting things will be. NiP, we're going to see their CT setup. It's usually extremely strong. And I hope they don't mix it up too much. We saw at Katowice they decided because of Alu jumping in to like mix things up and have Forest do banana instead of get right. But here we go. Got the push here from NiP, the 3-man banana push. Very standard to the meta game to get those efficient trades. But again, Virtus.Pro, they realized the meta game, they're going to give up on it to begin with, and they can reclaim it later.
Yeah, it's much like Dust, where you run 3 long occasionally just to cover off the choke point. That's the first initiation, and then fall out. By the way, you're right. At Katowice, so they did switch it over. They've gone a lot. Obviously, that didn't work at all. They've gone back to get right pretty much every time since then in B. And Forest is amazingly good at playing on the pit side. Right now, he's actually falling off of it. He's inside the pit because he's the one that rotated over late. So, slight change in position. Exist has to fall the arch side. Look at the flashes and smokes raining out. This is giving Virtus.Pro a chance to get a lot closer to the site, but Alu does a brilliant job. 1 and 2, 180 on the second. Exist is going to collect a double himself. Good hold right now from NiP, and they'll quickly take down the last remaining player of Bialy, and they'll get themselves on to 13. Only 3 to go. It seems like they haven't run around in a while because that pistol went to Virtus.Pro, but back to standard formation now.
Yeah, and it was a nice idea by Virtus.Pro to quickly try to take apartments and mid, because it's a little bit more for free at the start of rounds, especially if you know the team you're up against likes to play that 3-man banana kind of push at the start of rounds. Of course, they won't do it every time because they don't want to be predictable, but if you know that it is in the mix of their bag of tricks, then it's a smart move. But they just they weren't able to hit the shots. NiP looking just pretty damn strong at the moment, very consistent.
Well, the other thing is Alu needs to step up in that position, because if Forest is going to go to B, he has to play the pit, and he did that perfectly that time. That's not his normal position, but he still steps up. That's the key of, again, not even a support player, just a character player who can do that job.
Yeah, I mean, they've been trying to figure out how to use Alu on this map for quite some time, so it's nice to see that things are going well for them so far, but they're playing the Rangers here. Look at this position from Alu, very far back on library for Arch. That means that they could easily smoke him off and run through towards CT if they really wanted to. So gotta be very careful here. 2 players committed to pit here for NiP, so not the norm setup. And what can Virtus.Pro do here? Neo's gonna just be the first man here looking around. He's got the SMG, so they can try to sacrifice him.
That smoke's late. This is gonna be gone very quickly. There it goes, already dissolving, so Alu will hold them on the front side of it. Meanwhile, we do have Get Right fading off a little bit. He was on Speedway. He fades deeper inside CT. Now they open it up because they actually find Alu, so he's down. Get Right only gets 1. And the options are in the hands of EP right now. Which way do they want to go? It looks like they're going to head toward B, and that means only 1 player home in the form of Freiburg.
So this was the exact way to abuse the setup from NiP, and Virtus.Pro barreling down onto the site. Snacks a lurker, taken down towards... Oh no, what is this? Oh wow, what a spray down from Freiburg. How did he manage to do that? What an insane play from Freiburg. Saves the bomb site. That was a guaranteed round for Virtus.Pro. Can they catch a single break?
I've watched Freiburg spray control many times, his tutorial. That is a perfect example of it. That guy just annihilates them. Didn't even lift, didn't even budge, held true on the aim, and gets the backside. That was the bomb as well, so they had no chance. They had to force the peak. What a play from him. Never mind that Bialy was over causing havoc on the last remaining A players and not giving the rotation. Look at this. They're going to be pushing aggressively with the pistols this time. Bialy does trade on Freiburg, but Get Right's right there. Back into him at a man advantage. Falls with the smoke, and he'll just await company and the arrival of his teammates who are vastly approaching the site.
So Exist is back in position now. The spray down is immense there from NiP. It's looking fantastic for them to try to get themselves quickly onto map point. And wow, there you go. Pasha moving on through, trying to reclaim some kind of control here, but he's the last man standing. Galil in his hands. 2 frags to his name. And the bomb as well. And there's a minute left for him to play with, so he does have some time to use to slow things down a little bit and take his patient time. But it's going to be the frag for Alu. Map point here for NiP. And I got to say that the round previous, the really super crucial one, where Virtus.Pro were able to actually get through onto the CT spawn area, they played such a slow round, and NiP did everything right. They sent the pop flashes at the right time for the information plays, but they got outplayed by Virtus.Pro. That should have been guaranteed.
Oh, that definitely should have been. You have 3 coming into the site. I mean, that's just a heroic play. There's Alu. There's your confidence play. That's exactly the peak I was talking about early on. He will rush down and take the alt mid if he thinks he's got the time and place to do it. And look at the force buy from VP. They have to. What other choice do they have? Forrest already going to find snacks. Freiberg gets Pasha as well, and it's just a slaughter. They walk over. Exist Mo's 1-2, and Alu comes in with 3. 16-6 on Inferno. NiP, what a performance. And again, yesterday, VP looked a little shaky on Inferno. Maybe this is something that's a trend. They haven't played it as much lately, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's been sort of faded out of their map pool, but maybe this is something they need to address fast.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a great way for NiP to start the day. I mean, they had this situation where it's a super straightforward Inferno. They get a great start. They get ahead on the economy. They just keep Virtus.Pro in positions where they have to keep ecoing. They can never have the buys they want. So it's like quite a nice, easy start, I think, to the series. And NiP, they absolutely needed it. This is actually the first map we've seen from NiP against a top-tier team, which looked comfortable. Everything else has seemed shaky this tournament so far. So they're starting off this semi-final very well indeed. And we're going to have to see if they can bring that into the next map, Overpass, as well, because that's going to be the struggle for them.
Right, exactly. And obviously, VP, that is a map that they've been playing extremely well lately. Huge comeback at Star Ladder. Unfortunately, couldn't close it out against TSM. They managed to squeak through in overtime. Yesterday, though, they did against TSM, and they played from behind on the T side. And if their T side can roll like that, NiP is going to have... I mean, this is definitely... We said it at the start, this is the biggest test for them. If it goes to cash, we've got an even game, but Overpass does look like VP's map, and hopefully they can come out firing, guns blazing, and get back into it, and then we'll have a full-fledged series on our hands. I can't even think, when was the last time NiP actually did play Overpass?
They try to avoid it, so it's been a while. It has happened in some finals,
sure.
but they tend to avoid it. So, all right, guys, we do have an Info 4 Howl giveaway during the break. Which
my first roll, and I got the Howl.
Oh, really? That was the Howl?
Yeah, that was the Howl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you can thank this guy here for that Howl. So that will be dropped during the break. So check out that, and we'll be back very shortly with the analysis of that map, and of course to set up the next one. So we'll be right back.